If you're someone who keeps tabs on, well, what's really moving the needle culturally, there's one event that just seems to dominate the conversation every single April. I'm talking about the Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival, of course. It's become this huge thing, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's massive. For 2 weekends back to back, every April, the Empire Polo Club out in Indio, California, it just transforms. It becomes this hub of music, art.
All kinds of music too, right? Not just one genre.
Exactly. You've got rock, pop, indie, hip hop, huge amounts of electronic dance music. It's all there. And, it's not just listening, it's the whole visual experience too. These amazing, huge art installations, sculptures, they're everywhere.
Right, it's immersive. And this year, 2025, it felt particularly, I don't know, significant.
Yeah.
Like it tells us something about where culture is heading. So today, let's really get into it. The history, the impact, and especially some of the big fashion moments and performance highlights from this latest festival.
Sounds good. It's fascinating, really, how it started relatively small and just grew into this global phenomenon.
Okay, let's start there then. Back at the beginning, how did Coachella even come about? What was the genesis?
Well, you can actually trace the very first seeds back to 1993. There was this Pearl Jam concert.
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing about this, the Ticketmaster dispute.
That's the one. They couldn't play their usual LA venues because of it, so they ended up booking a show at the Empire Polo Club in Indio. And something like, 25,000 people showed up. It kind of proved, wow, this location can handle big crowds. It put it on the map for large events.
So a dispute basically uncovered this perfect festival location by accident. That's pretty cool.
Kind of, yeah. Then the festival itself was officially founded in 1999. Paul Tullett and Rick Van Santen from Golden Voice, the concert promoters. Golden Voice, at the time, they were struggling a bit to compete with the bigger promotion companies, so their idea was to create something different, maybe more like a European festival. Tullett even called it anti-Woodstock.
Anti-Woodstock. Interesting. Trying to set a different tone from the start, but it wasn't an immediate success story financially, right? Those first years were tough.
Oh, absolutely not. That first Coachella in 99, it got great reviews, people loved it, but it lost a lot of money, like around $850,000.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a massive hit. Golden Voice nearly went under. Some artists even had to agree to wait to get paid just to help them survive. It was really touch and go.
So close to ending before it really even began. How did they turn it around?
Well, they skipped 2000 entirely, just couldn't do it. Then they came back in April 2001, but just as a single-day event to test the waters again. And then a really crucial thing happened around the same time. AEG bought Golden Voice.
Ah, okay. The big players stepped in.
Right. AEG had just opened the Staples Center and saw Golden Voice as a way to bring acts into their venue. They kind of understood Coachella might take time to be profitable. And importantly, Tullett kept creative control. That was key.
So AG provided the stability, the backing, and then it started growing from that single day.
Exactly. By 2002, it was back to 2 days because more artists wanted in. Then 2003 was big. They introduced camping on site.
That must have changed the whole feel of it.
Totally. Made it more of a destination, a whole weekend experience. Demand just kept climbing, so in 2007, they expanded to 3 days. And then the really big move was, in 2012, adding the second weekend. Same lineup, 2 weekends in a row.
Just pure demand driving that.
Pure demand, yeah. And also, honestly, a way to manage the crowds. It was getting enormous. Since then, it's just kept setting records for attendance, revenue. It's a global powerhouse now.
Incredible trajectory. Okay, so beyond the history and the growth, what's it actually like to be there? The vibe, the setting?
The setting is huge. Indio, California, it's the Coachella Valley, part of the Colorado Desert, so you've got that unique desert landscape. And the Empire Polo Club grounds themselves are vast. They've expanded over the years to fit everything, all the stages, huge parking lots, the campgrounds. It feels like a pop-up city.
And the stages, it's not just one main stage anymore, is it? There are loads.
Oh yeah, loads. You've got the main Coachella stage for the headliners, the outdoor theater right beside it for other big acts. Then the tents, Mojave, Gobi, Sahara. Sahara's become this massive hub for electronic and dance music fans. It's huge now.
Right.
And they keep adding more, like the Yuma tent for deep house and techno, Sonora for punk and Latin artists, dedicated sponsor spots like the Heineken House. Then there's Despacio, that amazing sound system, the Antarctic Dome with visuals, the Oasis Dome, and now Quasar for these long DJ sets. You could spend all day just exploring the different sounds.
Sounds like a musical maze. And speaking of unique experiences, we should mention that this deep dive is brought to you by Stonefly. Just like Coachella pulls together all these different elements, music, art, experiences, Stonefly offers innovative products and services really designed to bring things together for you.
That's a good connection, actually, because Coachella really is about that mix, and the art is such a huge part of it now, not just an afterthought.
Totally. It seems like the art installations have become as much of a draw as the music for some people.
I think so. They've gotten so much bigger and more ambitious over the years. Back in the early days, maybe they'd reuse some pieces from Burning Man to save costs.
Right. Practical beginnings.
But since around 2010, maybe a bit earlier, they really started commissioning original site-specific works. Huge budgets dedicated just to the art. And a lot of it is interactive now, not just something to look at. It's really impressive, the scale and the tech involved.
That's a cool evolution.
Sure.
And with that many people, you hope they're thinking about the environment too. Are there green initiatives?
Yeah, they've had programs for a while. Things like Trash at Art of Recycling, where artists decorate the recycling bins. Makes it more engaging.
That's clever.
And Carpoolchella incentives for people driving together, plus efforts around water bottle recycling, refill stations to cut down on plastic. It's an ongoing thing for an event this size.
Good to hear. And for the real dedicated fans, the camping is a big part of the experience you mentioned.
Oh yeah, since 2003, the campgrounds are right there next to the festival site. It's super convenient. They have like a general store, showers, phone charging, all the basics. It definitely creates its own little community vibe for the weekend.
It really is like building a temporary city.
Yeah.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. How do they even put this lineup together? Booking all those acts must be a massive job.
It's a year-round process, practically. They usually start seriously planning and booking way back in August for the next April's festival.
August. Wow.
Yeah, and Golden Voice uses a ton of data from all the other concerts they promote, apparently around 1,800 shows a year. That gives them insights into who's popular, who sells tickets, who's buzzing.
Using their own intel. Makes sense. And what about those radius clauses I hear about? They sound pretty strict.
They are. Basically, if an artist plays Coachella, they often agree not to play any other festivals in North America for a certain period. And sometimes no headline shows in Southern California either for months around the festival, like December to May.
Seriously restrictive.
Yeah, it's about protecting Coachella's uniqueness, making sure the lineup feels special and exclusive. They don't want artists playing a rival festival down the road the week before.
Keeps the hype focused. So when do we finally get to see who's playing? When does the lineup drop?
They usually aim for right around New Year's Day, January. The idea is to be one of the first big festivals to announce, grab that early buzz and media attention.
Strategic timing.
Totally. And apparently the actual design of the poster, who gets what font size, where they are listed, that's a whole negotiation in itself.
Ah, the politics of font size. Never thought about that. What about sponsors? Has that changed over time? I imagine they resisted it first.
They did, yeah. Tollett was famously wary of too much corporate branding, wanted to keep the focus on the music and art, but it's evolved. Heineken has been a sponsor forever, since 2002. They even have their own stage, the Heineken House. H&M used to have a big presence with Coachella clothing lines. HP has sponsored the Antarctic Dome, doing techie experiences. But Tollett has apparently drawn a line at big sponsor logos directly on the main stages. He wants those kept clean, focused on the performance.
A balancing act, then. Finding partners without it feeling totally commercialized.
Seems like it. And another huge thing for extending the reach is the live stream, right? On YouTube.
Oh, yeah, that's massive now. You don't even have to be there.
Exactly. Started back in 2011, and it's just grown. Now they stream both weekends, multiple stages, sometimes even VR streams. AXS TV has broadcast it. SiriusXM does audio. YouTube's coverage gets more elaborate every year with extra content. It makes it a global event in real time.
Definitely opens it up to everyone. So looking at the big picture, Coachella's legacy. It's more than just a party in the desert, isn't it?
Oh, way more. It's seen as a major trendsetter. Music, fashion. Katy Perry once said the lineup predicts the music scene for the rest of the year.
High praise.
And the economic impact is huge for that whole region. Indio, the Coachella Valley. Hundreds of millions of dollars, lots of tax revenue. Plus, its success allowed Golden Voice to launch other big festivals there, like Stagecoach for Country Music, Desert Trip with the classic rock legends. It proved the model works.
Became an incubator, really. Okay, let's zoom in on 2025 specifically. The fashion and the performances always generate so much buzz. Did it feel different this year, style-wise?
You know, maybe a little. There's always talk about Coachella fashion, and for years it was very boho chic focus.
Right, the flower crowns, the fringe.
Exactly. And while that's still there, some observers felt a bit of a shift. Like Vanessa Hudgens, who was kind of seen as the queen of Coachella style for years, her look this year felt a bit more pared back, more understated maybe. Perhaps a move towards blending in, a bit more, less costumey for attendees.
Interesting. But the performers, they still brought the big looks, I assume.
Oh, absolutely. The stage is where the high-impact fashion lives. Lady Gaga's headlining set, Gagachella, as people called it, was a perfect example. She wore this incredible custom feathered outfit by Fecal Matter with these like bird claw hands, totally dramatic.
Wow, definitely Gaga.
Then you had Lisa from Blackpink doing her solo debut. She wore this amazing custom reptile suit by Asher Levine. Such a contrast to her character in The White Lotus, which people noted.
And Jenny from Blackpink, too.
Yeah, Jenny had this cool cowgirl vibe going on. Leather jacket by Georges Hobeika, custom mini shorts, very cool. Julia Fox also leaned into that Western thing, cowboy boots with heels, leather jacket, but with exposed chaps. Very Julia Fox.
Bold choices.
And micro shorts, or just like really short bottoms, were definitely a trend on stage. Megan Thee Stallion, Ciara, Tyla, Victoria Monet, all rocking that look during their sets.
Less is more, performance-wise, maybe. But it wasn't all pop and hip-hop setting trends, right? I heard about a surprising style icon.
Huh, you mean Bernie Sanders?
Yeah.
Yes. His cameo before Clara's set, just
Yeah.
wearing his standard blazer and button-up, it kind of became its own fashion moment, just by being so unexpected.
Definitely stood out.
But yeah, tons of other great looks. Addison Rae in a see-through Chloe dress, Becky G in a Grecian two-piece, Maria Zardoya from the Marias with a Puerto Rican flag accessory. Noah Cyrus went kind of Victorian. Beba Doobie wore a funny Sloane Ranger tee. Lola Young had a furry bikini top and hat.
Wow, eclectic.
Totally. Shabuzi's detailed Western gear. Benson Boone in a sparkly Dolce & Gabbana jumpsuit. Paris Hilton at the Neon Carnival party in a custom cutout look. The variety was huge.
It makes you realize how much effort goes into these stage outfits. It's not just pulling something off the rack.
No way. There are whole teams, creative directors, stylists, designers working for weeks or months on these looks. And it matters. Think about Sabrina Carpenter last year. Those baby doll dresses became her signature, really boosted her image. The right look can define an era for an artist.
Or the wrong look could backfire, I guess.
Exactly. And the timelines are often crazy short. June Ambrose, Missy Elliott's longtime creative director, she said sometimes it's like 3 weeks from idea to finished costume on stage.
3 weeks for intricate stage wear.
Yeah. For Missy's recent tour, she mentioned having over 250 costumes, 500,000 rhinestones. And she brought tons of options to Coachella, including special effects fabrics that react to lighting. It's part of the whole show's narrative.
Like theater costume design almost. Telling a story.
Precisely. Remember Beyoncé in 2018, Coachella? The whole HBCU theme, the Egyptian queen references the fashion, was central to that story. Megan Thee Stallion did something similar this year, using her outfits to show her journey, from early Houston influences to current high-fashion custom pieces. Her stylist, Eric Archibald, really mapped it out.
So the clothes track the artist's evolution.
Mm-hmm.
But they also have to be practical, right? For dancing, quick changes.
Absolutely crucial. They need to allow movement. Quick changes happen backstage in seconds sometimes. You need backups. Lisa apparently had a backup corset ready just in case. They even work with brands like Timberland for sturdy performance boots or Stetson for hats that work in the desert weather. Practicality meets style.
But ultimately, the look often trumps comfort.
Seems that way. Genesis Webb, who styled Chapel Roan and Lisa, said exactly that. For many artists, the impact of the costume, the statement it makes, is the priority. It shows their dedication to the performance as a whole.
It's serious artistry.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk headliners for 2025. A pretty diverse group this year.
Yeah, definitely. You had Lady Gaga returning, which is always huge. Then Green Day headlining for the first time.
Rock representation.
Yep. And Post Malone, also a first-time headliner, super versatile artist, plus Travis Scott, who was meant to headline back in 2020 before, everything got canceled. So that felt significant too.
Good mix. But wasn't there one performance that was kind of unexpected and historic?
Ah, yes. The Los Angeles Philharmonic, conducted by the amazing Gustavo Dudamel.
An orchestra at Coachella.
The first major orchestra ever to play there. They performed on the Friday, April 12th. It was really something different. Brought classical music to that massive stage. A really unique moment in Coachella history.
That really shows how the festival keeps pushing boundaries, embracing different kinds of art. So wrapping this up, Coachella's journey has been pretty incredible.
It really has. You think back to that Pearl Jam show, the early financial struggles, and now it's this global cultural event, constantly changing the music, the art, and definitely the fashion.
The scale is just mind-boggling, and its influence, culturally and economically, is undeniable.
Yeah.
It's way more than just a festival now.
Absolutely. Which kind of leaves us with a question, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How do these massive festivals like Coachella actually shape the wider trends we see in music, art, fashion? And maybe, what does the future hold for these huge cultural gatherings? Where do they go next?
Definitely something to chew on. Well, this has been fascinating, really diving into all things Coachella. Thanks for walking through it all.
My pleasure. It's always interesting to unpack something with so many layers. And thanks again to Stonefly for sponsoring this deep dive. Remember, just as Coachella integrates all these diverse elements into one experience, Stonefly offers integrated solutions to help you manage yours.
Great point. And thanks everyone for listening.